Hey guys, today I'm gonna share with you how I do my digital collages, so let's get on with it. I am using Adobe Photoshop. You can use any software that enables you to cut and paste, and some of these collages and collage kits I actually got from Rookie and Nearness Project. I will link all of those down below for your reference. So one thing that I always try to figure out when I'm doing a collage is actually just get down to the basics, see what I can work with, and I'm not very particular also with the amount of kits that I use, but I just try to keep it limited. For this theme, I didn't know what I was going for, so maybe I found this like iconic thing that looks like a house, and I'm just gonna work around that. And usually the themes I started with are based off of my own feelings, and I think that's something that you can always work with, and they're entirely your own. Some kits here actually manipulated so that the backgrounds are already transparent, but in other cases, you will have to crop them out yourself, and you should use the magnetic lasso tool. If you're not familiar with that, I will definitely make a more in-depth tutorial next time. But yeah, I am just rounding up different shapes, and one thing that I always mention when I'm doing collage is to be particular with the shapes. The shapes really play out a different perspective every time you do collage work, and for me, my favorite shape is obviously an ellipse. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just adding different shapes, elements, and picking out whatever I have. I don't open all of my collage kits, so usually I have like 4 or 5 out, and that's what I try to work with. One of your key best friends also for digital collage is using multiply as the what do you call that? Instead of normal, I just use multiply, and I like the effect because it makes your images transparent. And what's fun about collage is actually playing around with the layers. So here I am cutting out a road cutout because on the top I have this like foily substance structure that I wanted to like juxtapose with this road, so it feels like I am going somewhere. I actually don't know. Sometimes I make stories out of the collage I make, or sometimes they really have a story in itself and I just have to plot out the different elements. But one thing I also try to note is to keep the elements properly placed wherever they are in the collage. That can mean differently to you. For me, I like working with the whole area. I'm actually using, I don't know what measurement I got this from, but it's like 2500 by 1832. So it's landscape to begin with, but in terms of the dimensions, I'm not really particular. I also love using a lot of paper textures like these ones. This is a newspaper one that I recently downloaded, and I like how the black and white sort of neutralizes with the whole layout. You'll see here that I didn't touch the background, so I'm keeping it white. But if you're not the type to do that, you can always add different colors. For me, the easiest software is Photoshop because you can just use whatever you have on the tools that are already available in Photoshop. Shapes. I actually use a lot of the brush tool for the round elements, and again, transparent. You can also adjust the opacity. You can also do doodles like what I was trying here, but I don't think I'm gonna end up doing them. And the last thing I like adding is actually text. My text is not long. It's usually like a question or something that is very something that deals with existentialism. Like this one, I was supposed to just type where. I was like, maybe I could type something about hope, or like where is hope or something. I'm using a very artsy, aesthetically pleasing vibe font. I'm using Courier New. I'm such a sucker for Courier New in general, and I like how you can just edit the kerning. Here I manually added the spacing, and since the word hope is not really seen at the bottom, I decided to just add a border and a banner, a shape over it, so it's easier to weed out. So with things like these, you always just want to make sure that from the start to the end, you're going somewhere with the layout, and you may not immediately figure it out, but that's what's nice about collage. You don't really have to have anything figured out, just like life. I'm kidding, but I mean, it's kind of true, right? So yeah, I'm just manipulating I was supposed to write where is home, but I think that's kind of too much. So I was like, maybe I should just change it back. And I'm also editing the difference in terms of how transparent and translucent the area is, so that a part of it is still seen. Here's my failed attempt at doing doodle lines. I actually could have used Procreate, but part of me just didn't want to mess with having to use it on another software because that means I have to move my image to another gadget, and I don't really want that to happen. Oh, I actually ended up using Where Is Home. Lol. So here I'm just duplicating the image of the legs. That sounded weird. So I just added a bit of light yellow to it just so it pops out a bit in the image, and I think it works well here because everything sort of like meshes well together. And then eventually I just save it, label it for the day, and yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this simple video. I will want to dive in more about collage, but generally this is the process that I do it. If you have more questions, I will make sure to put all the resources down below, but do leave a comment and subscribe for more videos on creativity. Thanks for watching. Bye!